Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with some more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. And I know, we've got the Crone here, but before you freak out, don't worry, I haven't brought her sword, and yes, I am aware they have a fix for it in the public beta. I'm just waiting for that to be released to the general public. Yeah, so we've got Crone Hellebron here. We're going to be fighting the Forces of Chaos, so let's go ahead and take a look at the army compositions. Hellebron's got everything except her sword, obviously, because it's super broken. We've also just taken her on foot, just to make her a little bit harder to hit. She's got still massive melee attack, armor-piercing, anti-infantry, of course, has the Gaze of Cain, Witch Brew, Heroic Killing Blow, and we also have taken the Amulet of Darkfire for that sweet, sweet magic resistance. In terms of the rest of the army composition, we've got a Sorceress, Lore of Death. We've taken Spirit Leech, Doom and Darkness, and Soul Blight. The Soul Blight is to help support these non-AP units, the Sisters of Slaughter and the Sisters of Singing Doom, who we've got here. We've also got Dread Spears with the Hellebron Eyes over on the right flank. Canine Assassin over here, who I actually am starting to like this character more and more. He's relatively cheap if you strip him down. I do like the Assassin's Trophy ability, basically like Trophy Heads, minus 27 melee defense, 26 melee attack on a Lord or Hero. Supporting Hellebron is very, very powerful. It just makes her that much scarier to deal with in melee combat. And yeah, we've also got a single unit of Dark Riders with repeater crossbows, and over here a Cav force consisting of one unit of Cold One Knights and the Regiment of Renown Slaanesha's Harvesters. So the idea here is we're going to support with the Word of Pain here. Since the Cold One Knights don't have that great of melee defense, we can nerf the enemy's melee attack and make them a lot more survivable. The Slaanesha's Harvesters will be in there to soak hits and deal damage as well. And that's it for my force. If we go ahead and take a look at the Forces of Chaos here, we've got a line of Chaos Marauders with some Chaos Warriors with great weapons in the center, Chosen with great weapons in the very center. Cool stuff. Got some Chaos Poison Warhounds, one unit of Chaos Knights with lances. Then over here we've got a vanguard of two Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes. Archaon, the Ever-Chosen, is going to be leading this force today. He's got his Swords of Chaos bodyguard, so we're definitely in for a treat. He's got Cascading Fire Cloak, Flaming Sword of Ruin, Piercing Bolts of Burning, Slayer of Kings, and interesting, no Crown of Domination, I think it's called, his headpiece. But anyway, does also have standard die. And yeah, without further ado, let's kick the battle into full gear. And yeah, we're just going to be falling back with my force hidden in the woods here, obviously because I could see that he had moved some forces up and was going to be moving through this area. We're going to get up with these Dark Riders with repeater crossbows and just start to do a bit of skirmishing. He doesn't really have anything close by to respond to this, so we can get some free damage while we're kind of waiting for him to make his maneuvers. My opponent's going to very wisely, though, come up and around and bring one Marauder Horseman around the rock this way and the other around this way and get a very nice trap for my Dark Riders. He's also going to use these Poison Warhounds to do so. So yeah, you can see I'm going to fall back. I have no choice but to just charge these Marauder Horsemen. I'm going to get trapped here no matter what, so I'm just going to charge them, dispatch some Dread Spears to try and help out. We're going to get a little bit of a pitched engagement in this pocket here. You can see the Canine Assassin, not really wanting to be a part of this, is going to try and slip out the back door before anyone notices him. But yeah, these Dark Riders, I mean, getting rear attacked like this by Marauder Horsemen, I mean, they don't have that great of stats to begin with, so they're definitely going to lose out here. But they'll at least pin some of them in place and allow my Dread Spears to get in here and get some nice work done. You can see Archaon and the Swords of Chaos kind of sitting around on the flank, and I saw these Chaos Knights with lances moving up on my flank, and I'm like, nope, we don't want any part of that, so let's go ahead and dispatch the Cold One Knights and the Slaanesha's Harvesters, see if we can deal with them. Sisters of Slaughter moving up, dealing with what's left of these Marauder Horsemen throwing axes. They kind of got mucked up in this pocket. You can see we drop that Word of Pain and then charge in with the Cav force here, and these poor Chaos Knights with lances didn't get their charge off. They're just going to get completely dumpstered without doing hardly any damage in return due to the fact that they have zero melee attack. You can see Slaanesha's Harvesters and Doomfire Warlock, the Slaanesha's Harvesters and the Cold One Knights hardly taking any damage there. We've got the Canine Assassin in this pocket here. We're going to drop a Soul Blight to debuff the armor of the Chaos Warriors with great weapons and to drop their weapon strength as well. Actually looks like a Soul Stealer from the Slaanesha's Harvesters. We're going to be dropping that in just a moment here, but anyway, chasing off those Chaos Knights with lances with the Cold One Knights. Just kind of holding in this center pocket here, and now we're going to drop that Soul Blight to help tear away some of the armor here. Archaon is coming in on the flank, trying to outmaneuver these Dread Spears, which he has been able to. Going to be casting an Overcast Bombardment, it looks like here, so we've got a Flamestorm incoming right as I drop the Red Mist, and Flamestorm does an obscene amount of damage. It just melted everything in that pocket, pretty much. Other than that, though, my front line has taken hardly any damage. Archaon and the Crone are having a duel here. The Crone's not having the best time, despite the fact that we dropped the Assassin's Trophy on Archaon. Hellebron's been able to get a couple hits in, but she's just getting knocked around mostly right now. You can see Archaon has taken some damage, but Hellebron, you know, I kind of wish I'd brought her on a horse, but at this point, we're going to bring in these Slaanesha's Harvesters to support here, and that's going to allow Hellebron to get a few key hits in on Archaon. If Archaon turns around, he has magic attack, so he's going to circumvent her physical resistance. Even without the Flaming Sword of Ruin, he'll have those magic attacks. So one-on-one with nothing else involved, Archaon could probably beat Hellebron. But with the support of these Doomfire Warlocks kind of distracting here, it's definitely going to be in my favor. We've also got the Cold One Knights coming back on station, so they're going to get in here, pin in the Swords of Chaos, and then we're going to use the Slaanesha's Harvesters to try and screen out. You can see the Crone getting chased by Archaon. This is a bad time for her, but we're going to get those Cold One Knights, hook them over, and then just drop them in, try and get a nice surround. Got that second Word of Pain from the Regiment of Renown Doomfire Warlocks on Archaon to drop his melee attack down to only 26. He does still have great melee defense, but Spirit Leech and the swarm of these Cold One Knights with their anti-large armor piercing are going to be able to finish off Archaon. And the Crone did manage to escape. You can see her Red Mist kind of billowing in the jungle over there. So yeah, at this point, with Archaon down, we're going to pull ahead on the balance of power pretty decisively. Slaanesha's Harvesters just finishing off these Swords of Chaos, and we had also dropped a Doom and Darkness in this front line to proc a terror route with the Sisters of Singing Doom. So yeah, Druchii Infantry definitely took quite a bit of damage. It was a bloody battle, but that's how Kane and Khorne would have liked it. So in the end, everyone wins, right? Except for poor Archaon. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed watching. Nice to take the Crone without her sword and just see how she performs even without that. And she's definitely squishy, especially on foot. Archaon took her to task a bit there, but we were able to get some supporting elements in and turn that back in our favor. If we had lost Hellebron there, it probably might have turned against us. I mean, the front line for my opponent got shut down super hard, and 1,500 points pretty much went out the window when I caught those Chaos Knights with lances with my Cav force. It would have been tough, but I think had he taken down Hellebron there, he might have been able to pull things back. Sisters of Slaughter, Blades of the Blood Queen, and Sisters of Singing Doom all doing very well here. 44, 43, and 65 against mostly Chosen with Great Weapons and Chaos Warriors. The Dread Spears obviously kind of just doing their thing, being out on the flanks, being a nuisance. K-Knight Assassin, a very nice character that trophy heads, is decent to drop on opposing characters, and his missile attack also does a pretty decent amount of damage. It's nothing amazing, but it can definitely help. But yeah, I think the real MVPs of this battle are definitely the Cold One Knights and the Slaanesha's Harvesters, just shutting down those Chaos Knights with lances and then coming and saving Crone Hellebron's behind from Archaon there. So yeah, for my opponent, Swords of Chaos and Archaon were able to get quite a few kills, but they just weren't quite able to finish off the Crone, and then the front line engagement just went really south for my opponent. Let me show you guys just kind of what the paradigm I like to use when fighting with Chaos in this matchup. It's going to be tough to just go heads up, especially with Crone Hellebron and her support buffs and some of the really strong elite infantry that the Dark Elves have access to. It can be very hard to just go heads up with them. But if we take a look here, I actually quite like the shielded Chosen in this matchup. They have great melee defense at 60, so they can hold out when everybody's going crazy. You know, baseline, a lot of these units don't have that high of melee attack, but when Crone Hellebron's doing her thing and you've got the Murderous Prowess proccing off map-wide, these guys can get up quite high, so the 60 melee defense of the Chosen with Great Weapons is pretty decent. Likewise, I mean, obviously you might see a very heavy line of Hargonath Executioners and Blackguard of Nagarond, but I mean, Chosen with Great Weapon, or sorry, the regular Chosen, Sword and Board, they still have pretty good AP values. The 60 melee defense is huge, and they also have a Silver Shield with a 60% missile block chance, so if your opponent does go very heavy on the missiles, you'll be protected in that way. Big Bird can be a solid pick in this matchup, but let's say you want to go with Archaon. Piercing Bolts of Burning, pretty decent. I probably wouldn't overcast it just because you'd want to keep it in a tight area of effect to drop it on a specific unit. Or you might just cheap out and go with the Burning Head instead. Then something like this. Let's see. Swords of Chaos are okay. I'm honestly not that big of a fan, particularly in this matchup. I definitely would bring the Summoners of Rage, though, with their anti-large AP, magic attacks. They're just absolute world beaters. They can be a really good bodyguard for Archaon, and yeah, that Bound Chain Lightning is going to be very powerful as well. So something like this, the supporting Marauder elements, you know, it's just to kind of fill the field with some bodies here, and then you can go very heavy on the Cav, and maybe some Chariots as well. But it can be risky. You saw the Chaos Knights were shut down by my Cav force pretty hard, which is not something you would necessarily expect. Dark Elves historically had not been a strong cavalry faction, so what else would I do? You know, it's a tricky one. I've got these guys to counter that. Maybe we go with some Marauder Horsemen, just to give us some ranged component and to contest the mobility game a little bit more as well. And then it'd be great to have some Armor Sundering, so let's grab the Weird Spawn, so that if, in case they do have, like, let's say Blades of the Blood Queen or another heavily armored unit, we can throw these guys in on that specific unit, and then that way we can get their armor down a little bit, and the Chosen will be a bit more effective. So just kind of a bit of theory crafting. If you really wanted to bring Archaon here, I do think Big Bird's probably a better choice with his missile resistance. He's super slippery as well, and he has some really nice spells. Steering Doom is great against low armor targets, so it's a cheap spell as well, so you can get really good value dropping it on things like Sisters of Slaughter or Witch Elves, you know, things of that nature, you know, Dark Shards, things like that. And then, of course, you also have the Plague of Rust to drop a single opponent's armor down. You could even take Transmutation of Lead. It's a really nice, huge area of effect debuff. Lasts a pretty long time. 26 melee attack, 25% weapon damage. Can be nice to help mitigate the effects of Murderous Prowess or the Crone's Red Mist effect. So, yeah, I definitely like Big Bird quite a bit in this matchup. And as well, the metal shifting is going to be nice because it'll just give you, every time you cast one of these relatively cheap spells, it'll give you that map-wide bonus to your weapon strength, which is always nice. So something like this I think might be decent. I have the gold now to upgrade one of these guys to throwing axes, so maybe we'll do so. And something like this I think would be pretty solid against the Dark Elves. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What's been your experience in this matchup? These are definitely two of the top tier factions right now, based on my experience. Chaos is incredibly strong. Obviously the Dark Elves, beyond the fact that the Crone is actually broken, which is going to be fixed soon, granted, they're still very powerful even outside of that. I would still say they're definitely a tier 1 faction, so let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below about this matchup. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thank you once again, and we'll see you next time.